Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Pitbull stand for your Ducati V2 or any other brand of motorcycle you have. This stand works, it's universal, it works with a lot of different motorcycles. So I'm going to be talking all about this because I did a lot of research, and the reason I purchased this stand for 350 bucks is there's a reason for it. So in this video I'm going to try to cover it. So keep watching, and one thing, please just give it a thumbs up. It's not going to cost you anything. Subscribe to my channel, you don't have to, but if you give it a thumbs up and like the video, I'll really appreciate it. All right, so the main reason I like Pitbull stands are because they're really heavy duty quality stuff. This metal that you see, it's really nice thick grade steel, and it's made of really high quality. It's not going to rust on you, it's going to last you forever. The good thing is they come with different pins, so you can purchase different pin style, and you can just buy one stand and just keep buying different pins. And these pins are not that expensive, they're cheap. It's like 50 bucks for this one that I ordered. So I'm going to show you how I installed the pin, and you know what you can do with the spare pin. This is a spare pin for a multi-strada, so depending on the type of bike you have, mine is a Ducati V2. So let's watch the video and I'll show you all about the thing. I'm going to start right off the bat is you don't want to cheap out on the stand, because that is a very critical part. If you're storing your bike, you definitely don't want to damage your tires, so you want to make sure you have a quality stand. And the one that I can vouch for is Pitbull, and they make great stand. There are cheaper alternatives that people buy, but guys, that is not something you want to risk, especially when you have a big investment on a motorcycle. So you want to make sure you have the proper tools and the proper stand. And Pitbull makes really good stand. I mean, they're quality stuff. You can tell their stuff is made very heavy, and that's what you're paying for. Basically, you get what you pay for. If you pick up a cheap stand, a Chinese brand, I don't want to name any specific brands, but there are multiple, you can pick one up for like 100 bucks, but trust me, those will not last you as long. The Pitbull stands will definitely outlast any other stand. And the good thing about them is, hey, if you're ever replacing your motorcycle, you can sell them aftermarket, and people will buy it because the brand speaks for itself. So another thing is Pitbull stands, they have different pins, so you can have a specific stand. And even if you're planning on changing the motorcycle, you don't really have to change your stand. It's a one-time investment. You keep your stand, and all you have to do is replace the pin. So here is my Ducati Panigale V2, and you can see I purchased this stand because this one have two sizes, one on the other side and one on this side, depending on how you want to lift your bike. But I want to do it from this side, so I purchased this one. This is a 1098L. So I bought this pin that I'm going to install on my bike stand. There's another one which is XL, which is a little bit bigger, and that's for the other side. So again, if you have a V2, let me show you this one. See this one, if you put this one in, it's a little bit loose because the XL is a perfect fit for this one. So depending on which side you want to lift your bike, but for me, I want to do it from this side, so I got it this one. The good thing about Pitbull stand is the pins are easily removable. The whole thing is easily removable. In fact, you can remove this part, and if you ever want to transport it or ship it, you can remove this part and it lays flat. So that's the good thing about it. So to replace the pin is very simple. You can see right here. See, this pin is for under the Ducati that I used to have. Don't have that anymore, so I'm replacing this pin. Oops, well, it was loose enough. That's why it came off. Didn't break. So you can see. So this is the pin, and it easily comes off, and you can see the bearing and everything is in there. So you can, if you want, you can clean it, lube it before you put this pin in. And the reason it slipped off is because the nut was not tight. I think I loosened it up before I started recording, so that's why it slipped off. So what you want to do is you want to position your stand the way you want to lift your bike. So in my case, it's going to be like this. So this pin will fit in just like that. So I can go in right from here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this guy up. remove this, slide it in, and then tied it from that end. But before that, I think I'm probably gonna just clean this part out and lubricate it. If you have some silicone grease, you can spray some in there so you have a nice rolling pin in there. Okay, so the good thing about this particular one, before we get into installing the pin, is you can check the bearing, and you know, over time bearing can seize up. So there's a bearing on bottom on this side, and this one I can see I can move it freely, and then there's one on top, and this one is kind of stuck. I cannot move it. So the good thing about this is these are serviceable, so you can either replace that entire thing or you can remove the cover and you'll see bearings in there. So it's easily removable, you can see, and you can wipe it off. And sometimes the dirt and grime, you know, get into the bearing in there, so you can clean it. Sometimes the dust and dirt gets in there. So let me get some brake cleaner. Like, okay, all the dust and debris can just come out. Also try to move it so we can get everything out. Okay, so it's already moving. Okay, now after cleaning, all I'm doing is just putting some grease in there. It's a synthetic grease for ball bearings and stuff like that, so this will be enough for it. And that's it. It's already moving freely, which is good. And now we can just put the seal back on, which basically pops right back in. And that's it. And now I can install the actual pin. And once you put this in, it goes in all the way. So make sure it goes in all the way and it's turning. So since it's some nice lubrication, it's moving nice and easy, and that's what you want. You don't want this to be stuck hard. And then this piece just kind of goes on the back, and it doesn't really matter how you put it on, but just make sure it's nice and loose and clips right back in. And then you just tighten up the bolt right here. Okay, it's nice and tight. Make sure it's not loose, because if this is loose and it falls off while you're putting the bike on the stand, this could be a bad day for you. Definitely don't want this. To make sure it's nice and tight, and this is nice and loose. And once in a while you may want to spray some lubrication in there just to make sure this stays nice and slippy. And this extra piece that you have, that one you can put it on this side. This is the reason why they have this. And then you can just slide it on and tighten this, so if ever for some reason you need to use this pin, you can use that later. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and that's how you put the new pin on the jack, and then we'll jack the bike up. Okay, so to put your bike on the stand, what you need to do is put your pin in there. Make sure it fits in before you touch anything. Make sure everything is nice and clear. Now, make sure the pin is all the way in, because if it's not, you can drop your bike. And then all you have to do is just push your bike straight. So once you push your bike straight, those two wheels will be touching the ground, and all you have to do is lift it. Push it in. There you go. It's as simple. And here you can see the bike is on the stand. So it's literally as simple And the pin does not come all the way through there. Some people think the pin should be coming all the way out, but no guys, you know, that itself, the thickness, the way it's designed by Pitbull, you know, this is perfect. Another good thing about the Pitbull stand is you can see the setup, it's going that way, but you can actually change this orientation and bring this way. So, you know, either you can go with the other style pin and do it from the other side, or you can do it from this side using the pin that I ordered, and just still be able to, you know, have that over here. So in such cases, like, you know, you have a garage and you have garage door to close, you know, the setup might not work for you. So let me show you exactly how you can make this easily, you know, on the other side there as well. So be careful when you're doing this. Have somebody available, because this is going to slip basically if you remove this, because the only thing that's holding this thing is that lever right there. So you don't want to be removing this, because this is going to slip out like this and your bike is going to fall. So before you remove this guy, you want to make sure you take it off the stand and then install it. So now the bike is off the stand. What you're going to do is remove this and flip it. So instead of this coming this way, it's going to be going that way. So we're going to remove it and flip it this side. So I removed it and now I'm putting it on this side, and it just, there you go, just goes right in. And just make sure you tight it nicely. Okay, so now you can see I've changed the orientation, and I can use the exact same pin, put the stand right there, slide it in like this. Now the procedure is the exact same. Put the bike straight so it's nice and even. Now you can see it's nice and even. Now you don't even need to worry about the bike. You have to make sure the pin is all the way straight. So now it's in. Bike is holding on these two wheels of this stand. There you go. But here you can see, you know, you can use the exact same stand. The only thing I did was change the orientation from this side to that side, and it helped me move the bike. So you don't really have to have a different pin to do it in this setup. And I highly recommend get the pin for this side, not the other side, because it's a lot easier to handle the bike from this end versus the other end. So that's the reason I got this pin. And yeah, this one is not the XL. The XL is the bigger pin. So this is there are two pin sizes. So this is the smaller size. That one is the bigger size. So this pin works great for my setup. And here I showed you both, and now I can even close my garage without having to worry about that thing reaching all the way down here. And plus, if I'm doing it right from here, it gives me more support that I can, you know, put a hand there, grab my bike while I'm pushing this guy in, and just a better control this way versus the other side, even though the other side is not that hard.